Now, this year has seen a series of major successes and achievements for Swift, such as the evolution of its governance and a focus on operational excellence.
And we are less than 2 months away from the end of the transition from the Swift MT standard to the modern ISO 20022 data-rich standard for financial messaging.
Well, to look at how far Swift has come in the past 12 months and what the organisation's future governance will look like, we spoke earlier to Graeme Munro, chair of the Swift Board of Directors.
And we began by asking him to talk about how 2025 will go down as a milestone year in Swift's history. Shareholders approved some key changes to its bylaws, and we asked Graeme to give us the latest on Swift's governance evolution.
We've been working on our governance strategy now for quite a while. You may remember that the G10 banks collaborated to come up with the elements that they wanted to include in the underlying regulation. They've now turned that into law, so that was voted through the Belgian parliamentary process earlier this year. So that's one of the foundation blocks. We've then taken that and applied that into our overall governance structure. So we're now moving into the execution phase of building that new governance capability. The key elements of it will be that we will rebuild a new supervisory board, and we have now actually started interviewing for the preliminary roles on that board. We're starting with our independent board directors, and then we will fill the remaining roles in the board with affiliated board seats. So that's one key element of it. Second key element is that recognizing the cooperative nature of the organization, we want to have a very strong client input, a very strong stakeholder input to our overall governance structure. To do that, we're building a forum called the Swift Council. So we're equally putting that in place. Both of those bodies will be geographically diverse. So we want to make sure that the new structure that we build reflects the global nature of the Swift organization. All of that is progressing very well. We've had great support from our communities. As you said, we were delighted to get through the AGM meeting, and actually with a very strong vote turnout to support those changes. So that was super. We hope to be in a position sometime middle of next year to actually implement those changes, and we're navigating through the execution of them right now.
Now, as well as the governance evolution, there's actually another milestone coming up this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we have our ISO 20022 program finally moving to the next phase in November. And at that point, we will now have migrated the full volume traffic into the new ISO structure. We have created what we call our last resort contingency solution, which allows for a small volume of our traffic to continue sending the old message, but to be converted into the new message structure. We're very well on track to do that. We've been talking over the last few days about ensuring we've got a very strong, operationally resilient structure to allow us to navigate through the conversion weekend itself. Once we have that live, we can then move on to realizing the benefits of ISO 20022, and that will give us a platform from which we can really improve the quality and the nature of the data that we pass over the network. And we all know that data gives us a great opportunity to think about future analytics and improved process. So I think there's some really good outputs from that coming.
Now, Graeme, you mentioned in your speech at the start of the conference that this is the International Year of the Cooperative. So what does Swift's cooperative status mean?
It's absolutely foundational to the organization that we run. We are 50 years old, in fact, a little bit older than that now. And I think that cooperative nature has been a key element of how we've built the organization. It allows us to bring everybody in equally to be part of the organization. We're there to be what we think of as a global good in terms of delivering an infrastructure that allows the global financial infrastructure to work effectively. I think doing that with the right cooperative nature, which allows us to ensure that everybody has a voice into that process, I think has been super. So it's nice to know that this year is the year of the cooperative. It's nice to know we've got so many major changes going on at this time, which I think will help reinforce our cooperative nature. So we're very proud of it, and it will continue to be a key part of how we run the company.
And of course, another reason why this year is a very special year. It's the first time that Sibos is having its event here in Frankfurt. Talk to us about what that means and what has been your highlights so far from day one.
I'm going to start a little personally, and I'm not sure this is where I'm supposed to start, but I actually lived here in Frankfurt in the late 90s. So my wife and I spent 3 years here, 3 very happy years. And actually our older son was born in Frankfurt. So it feels like Frankfurt is a homecoming, is the word that we used earlier to describe this. So that feels great. But Frankfurt itself is one of the powerhouses of the European financial system. So it's great for us to be here. This is our first time here. But a lot of the elements of the European financial system, and certainly the German financial system, have their roots here in Frankfurt. It's been involved in the financial industry for several hundred years. But if you fast forward to today, some of the largest banks are based here in Frankfurt. A lot of the regulatory infrastructure is based here in Frankfurt. So I think that gives us a great opportunity to connect with all of those, which is exactly what we've been doing. So that's a great place to house Sibos this year. And then Sibos itself brings together all of the elements of our community, all of the elements of the cooperative that we talked about earlier. And it's a great opportunity for all of them to connect. You know, there's a number of interesting and exciting new areas of focus that we are delivering on. So I think that provides some great opportunity for debate, for connection, and for working through what our next steps should be. So super to be here.